People are shooting fireworks towards the Trump building.
Wait, did you catch that? People are literally launching explosive fireworks directly at a downtown skyscraper. And the craziest part? The cops are nowhere to be found. Stop scrolling because what is happening in these streets right now is completely out of control.
Ooh, closer, closer. Oh, sorry.
Look closely at the trajectory of those explosions. You can clearly see them bouncing off the reinforced glass of a major corporate building right in the middle of the city. We are talking about literal projectiles being fired in a densely populated urban center. And if you look at the background, normal traffic is just trying to slowly pass by like this is an everyday occurrence. Are you kidding me? The level of comfort these individuals have to stand in the middle of a busy intersection and turn it into a combat zone is absolutely mind-blowing. What happens if one of those goes through a window? What happens if a stray spark hits a gas tank on one of those passing cars? You have to ask yourself where the city leadership is during all of this. There is zero fear of consequences. It's like a completely lawless zone where the normal rules of society have just been put on pause. You really have to wonder how long a city can sustain this kind of nightly chaos before something catastrophic happens.
It's still unclear what triggered the shootings, but neighbors say this is the second time in less than a month that large gatherings have taken over their block, leaving them frustrated over the disruption and loss of peace.
You couldn't tell fireworks from gunshots at one point, but we started seeing the kids running. We knew something happened when they started running.
Cell phone video capturing the chaos, gunshots blending with fireworks as a growing crowd took over a residential block in Garfield Park Saturday night. Neighbors say repeated calls were made to CPD, fearing a 4th of July gathering was heading in the wrong direction.
Pause right there and look at the sheer volume of people swarming those vehicles. We are looking at a full-blown street takeover. If you zoom in on the edges of the crowd, you can see people literally sitting on top of cars, completely blocking the intersection, making it physically impossible for emergency services to get through. Imagine being trapped in your car while hundreds of people surround you in the pitch dark. You can see the chaotic movement. It's not a protest, it's a total disruption of public order. And look right there at the top of the screen. You can see police lights flashing in the distance, but they are completely gridlocked. They can't even penetrate the perimeter of this crowd. When an entire neighborhood is hijacked like this, it takes hours to clear out. The sheer lack of respect for the surrounding community is wild. This isn't just kids having fun. This is a coordinated mob effectively shutting down an entire grid. It really makes you question what the protocol even is for taking back a street once it gets this out of hand.
Along with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson repeatedly say they don't need Trump's help with crime in Chicago, crime in Illinois. And yet we repeatedly hear gruesome numbers about dozens of people each week shot and killed in Chicago, in Illinois. And
scan the ground in this shot. See all those little yellow numbered tags scattered across the asphalt? Every single one of those markers represents a piece of evidence, usually a shell casing. When you see a crime scene littered with that many markers spanning across an entire block, it paints a terrifying picture of exactly how much firepower was unloaded in a matter of seconds. It looks like a war zone, not a residential neighborhood. Notice how wide the police tape is stretched. They had to block off an enormous perimeter just to contain the sheer scale of this incident. The officers walking through the scene look completely overwhelmed, and honestly, who can blame them? They are processing massive, complex scenes night after night. You can feel the heavy atmosphere just looking at this footage. It's a sobering reality check of the violence happening right outside people's front doors. It makes you wonder what the breaking point is for the residents who have to wake up to yellow tape and flashing lights every single morning.
They were hit by gunfire. They were all taken to nearby hospitals to be treated. Now, it's still unclear what exactly led up to these shootings. Investigators have not officially connected the two, but we do know that they both took place in the same area.
Look at the background here, past the flashing blue and red lights. You have multiple emergency vehicles stacked up bumper to bumper. When you see an ambulance positioned right next to a heavy police presence like this, you know the situation escalated past just property damage. The sheer amount of city resources tied up in this one single block is staggering. Look at how chaotic the shadows and movements are behind the barricades. First responders are actively working an intense scene, and you can almost feel the tension and urgency in the air. But here's the crazy part. While all these units are tied up here, who is responding to the rest of the city? When large-scale incidents draw this much manpower, the response times for everyone else plummet. It's a domino effect of chaos. You really have to give credit to the men and women dealing with this firsthand, because this level of sustained pressure is not normal. It's a completely unsustainable drain on the city's emergency infrastructure, and it's playing out in real time. What would you do if this was your street? Let me know in the comments and hit follow for more.